Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dom Limited here. Just do a kind of a quick update on what's going on. I was going to do a live stream yesterday. I had some other video ideas I was going to do for yesterday, but due to being on the road all day until early this morning, typically I don't do service calls on a Sunday, but I try to earn a few extra bucks. It's just kind of, you got to go the extra mile and you got to do above and beyond what you normally would do. And that's the best practice in a business, is giving back to your customers as much as you can. Not money wise, but I mean just being available whenever. And the more that you're available to your customers, you're more likely to gain even more customers. And so basically, I do have a few plans as far as some videos. I still haven't gotten around to lining any people up for live stream event that I'm thinking about doing. But since the grass is starting to grow and stuff like that, I gotta, even though that social distancing is still a thing and people are still terrified and fearful, they're probably still gonna have the Memorial Day event at the church I work for in the cemetery, as far as like a 21 gun salute. So I gotta get my keister and rear or in gear rather, and get through there and knock some weeds down. That'll be kind of an interesting project to get going on. And at this point in time, I pretty much have the premise to myself when I go and do that. So that won't be today anymore. I had to run some errands in town because I didn't get there over the weekend. Because I'm kind of thinking about taking a little mini vacation sometime this summer by myself, just get away from here. But I have no clue when I'm doing that, if I'm doing that, other than a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm stocking up on supplies for doing that. I don't think I'll be camping in a tent or anything. I'll see if I can talk somebody to let me use their cottage or something just for the weekend. I would still have to work during the day. I'd just go there in the evening, and then Sunday I would spend part of the day, and then I'd drive home Sunday night and go get back into work again and that. But we'll wait and see. It's not set in stone. That's something I have to do. It's just something I kind of want to do. And so basically, the next plan is here at the office. I picked some lumber up the other day, and I'm gonna build like a furniture dolly. I don't really have furniture in here that requires a dolly, but I got a lot of totes and stuff sitting back here that I would like to get off the floor and make it so I can move stuff around here a little bit easier. One question that actually popped up was from a customer. Do you ever plan on buying this place? If I could get this place for a very cheap price, or this whole building for a cheap price and the land around it, I probably would buy it. Because it is a very viable property. This was, like I said in earlier streams, this was built back in the late 30s, early 40s. This was a grocery store. This particular room I'm sitting in was the grocery. And then back in that area, that was cold storage. You could rent lockers because not everybody had freezers back in the day. So what they would do is they would rent a locker for, I think it was like under $5 a week at that time. Because down in the basement there's a bunch of refrigeration equipment and compressors, but that system hasn't ran in over 60 years, I'm guessing. Okay, so I believe the building was built in '39 because according to my insurance estimate, that's what they said what the age of the building was. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm thinking that the insurance company probably was able to dig. If I could actually find historical photos of this place, of what it looked like in its glory day, that would actually be very interesting if I could find pictures of what this place looked like. And even blueprints of what the original like walls and any equipment and mechanicals and electrical. That'd actually be kind of interesting to sit down and actually examine. I don't think this place has changed that dramatically, other than the fact that well, there used to be a radiator up in the ceiling, but that was taken out way before even I got in here. And I don't even think this wall was. I was in here probably at least a good 20 years ago for a rummage sale that the landlord was having. Maybe it was more like 15 years ago. I don't recall that wood panel wall being up. Because if my calculations are correct, then what's exactly behind this door, it's probably more store like back there. It's been so long since I've been back there. I don't even remember how it exactly looks, other than I know it had a red and green floor, kind of like what's in here, and a lot of shelving. In the back there were steps going down. There's two stairwells to the basement. Here's a stairwell that goes down to the west side of the basement, and then you got a stairwell back there that goes down into the east side in the back corner of the building. And it's been years since I've and maybe I don't believe it was back there actually. Was I think I could have even been upstairs at one point in time too, years ago, because the whole building was open. They didn't have any doors locked here at that time. So I think I moseyed my way upstairs to look around. I don't think I went into the back part. I just looked out the front windows upstairs. But I was a lot younger at that time. But now that I'm renting here, I don't explore or go spelunking through the building because it's not really my place to do. Pretty much the room I'm sitting in here, I rent that, and then the parlor next door. The only time I use that is for the sink and the restroom. But other than that, I don't occupy that room. Other than I got some of my stuff in there, and in the little hallway, I kind of use that as a store a bunch of junk and stuff. And occasionally, I go down to the basement and work down there. But usually, typically, most of my work just resides in this room. But it'd be nice if I could have access to the whole building for storage. Because, like I said in an earlier stream, this would be the showroom. This room here, back there would be a workshop, and then all of the tools and projects I'm working on would go back there. And this would be more of a showroom. And then the other room, that would probably be a TV room and small and stand displays. Well, then there's one customer that says, "Why don't you just save up enough money and build a new place and build it the way you want it?" And I'm like, I could do that too, but that'd be more expensive. Well, actually, vice versa. Either way, it'd be expensive. Because one, you got to buy the land. Two, you got to put the building up. And then you have higher taxes because it's a newer building. But vice versa, if you bought a place like this, I can tell you this. I think the structure of the building is very sound. Other than I would probably have to put a new subfloor in certain places because when you walk around in here, the floor does kind of flex a little bit. But maybe it just needs some minor structural work in the basement. And the basement does leak a little bit through one of the walls of the foundation. I can't quite pinpoint where, but I know it's on this side, on the east side of the building here. So I would probably put a sump pump in to get rid of the water, and then get somebody in to fix the foundation, fill the crack in. It's an old building, so you're expecting stuff like that. And I would definitely insulate the walls here. I'd probably pull all the plaster and lat off, and I would definitely gut all the electrical, the old covered Romex cable on the walls, and I'd put all new updated wiring, bring it all up to code, make the electrical a little more user friendly, put some actual decent light fixtures in compared to ones that you got into an extension cord and power strips. Most of them aren't too bad. And I would also put in receptacles above this, up in the ceiling and stuff like that for running different applications, and everything would be on 20 amp breakers. And the building already has a 200 amp service on the building, so I would reuse that service because there's a lot of room on there. But as far as all the old wiring, that would all go. And in the back half of the building, I would electrify that again because at this point in time, it's not electrified. There's no running electricity back there at all. The upstairs is all electrified, but the back half of the basement isn't electrified either. So I'd do away with all the porcelain-based light sockets, and I would put in like T12 4 bulb fixtures in the basement to lighten it up a bit, paint the walls down there. I wouldn't put a drop ceiling in down there, but I would just basement wouldn't be a major. And then I'd get a new furnace down there and do away with the one that's there now. Put forced air in here. Either that or I get heat pumps or those Panasonic multi-purpose air conditioners that last dehumidifier / heaters. Because our church just got those installed. And it only costed them $28,000 to get a system like that in. So if they could do that for 28 here or there, they could probably do that for, I'm thinking maybe around 19,000. Because this room would only need one unit. That parlor would only need one. Back there, we'd probably need 2 of them. For sure. Maybe even 3. The upstairs I would put at least 4 up there. One in each corner. So there's a lot you can do with this building as far as, and the nice thing about those units are you don't have to have, actually I still think I'd probably do away with the hot water heat here and just put the forced air and put central air in instead. Because what I would do is I would knock the chimney down. The only thing that I would probably keep is the roof, because I was informed the other day that the landlord that the roof was brand new from a couple of years ago, so they're not ready to sell this place, and they're probably never going to, but in case they ever should, decide to, I'd probably be the first one in line for it. But at this point in time, I got to save up money first for getting by with or pulling off a renovation or a new build. So I hope that answered one of the viewers and customers' question. So I don't get a lot of questions that come in, but usually those that come in will answer them. Yeah, okay, another one that came in. You ever think about getting a truck as a service vehicle? Yeah, I've thought about a truck. But the problem with the truck is not only is the gas expensive or the diesel expensive, but if you're using it as a commercial truck, you have to have commercial plates on. And even as a residential truck with Class A, Class B, and Class C for here in Wisconsin, I think that Class A is like $90. Class B is $110, and Class C is like over $120 or something like that. But I have not even priced what commercial plates cost. Because here in Wisconsin, you got certain trailers require certain, like if you got a 2-axle trailer, you're supposed to have, there's a certain trailer plate that you're supposed to buy. And thank goodness none of the two trailers I have, I got a 4x8. But I don't take that one out on the road all the time. And then I got a 4x, I think it's a 4x6, maybe it's a 4x5. Yeah, it's got to be a 4x6. Because originally it was a 4x4 trailer. And I was told that one came from Montgomery Ward's store back in the 70s. So actually, I don't want to get rid of that one because it's kind of a relic. Somebody asked me like everything about getting rid of it. It's kind of beat up looking, and I'm like, no, that's a Montgomery Ward's trailer. You're not going to see those ever again. And I even had a turtle shell liner on for it, so that isn't bad. I don't use a turtle shell. A lot of times if I was going to use that trailer on the road, I would have to put all new trailer lights on it, and because the lights that are on there are all beat up from backing in and out of the lean-to on the back of the barn on the property. Actually, it's not really a full-fledged barn. It's just a storage shed that was built like a barn. So, yeah, I would have to rewire the trailer, get a wiring kit, and at this point in time, I just use it for around town here. So, the other trailer, I use that more often. And actually, it's cheaper having a trailer sitting around than it would to have a. The reason I got the van is one, the older the vehicle you have, you don't have to have full coverage insurance on it. You only have to have liability. So I only have liability on it. And the van runs pretty good. I think I said already, I will do a review on it. The van, it'll be like a 1-year anniversary of having it. Because I got it in May of 2019 to replace my Plymouth Neon. That was my daily driver. The Neon, there's actually quite a few things that it needed. It needed a new clutch. Clutch was shot on it. That would have been about around $700 plus labor of $300. So you're talking about 1,000, not even including shop supplies. And it needed new. Well, actually, it needed new tires as well. On the front, it did anyway. And it also needed a catalytic converter because the catalytic converter that was on there was pretty much rusting through. And for a cheap car, it was actually was nickel and diming me to death. And that was another reason I got rid of it. Because a couple of years ago, I had to put a water pump in timing belt assembly. That was back in 18. And I stuck new brakes, pads, and rotors. That was back in 14. Maybe that was 15. No, that was 14. 2012, I got new struts or quick struts. They're the cheapest of the cheap, but they held up. I still see the car on the road yet. The guy that bought it, he was gonna buy it for a veteran down in Milwaukee. But then the funny thing about it on Craigslist again, and all of a sudden I saw the car on there for like $800, and I'm thinking, man. And he told me that he was gonna sell it to him, or not sell it, but donate it to a vet in need of a car. And then just to turn around and sell it for $800 on. Actually, I don't even think he sold it because I see the guy driving around with it. It was a fun car. It really was. It had a 5-speed in there. The most luxurious options it had was a defroster and a cassette player and a tiltable steering wheel. I thought that was great. There was one that I looked at one time that didn't have any of that even. And I thought, wow, tiltable steering wheel, that's great. And a cassette player and a defroster. Not for the front, but just for the rear. So it is what it is. The car was great when having it, but when you got something that's nickel and dime you to death, and not only your floorboards are rusting through on it, then it's time to. When you got more duct tape holding stuff together in your car, and it's just getting worse and worse. I didn't get the 200,000 miles out of it that I wanted to, but I hope the guy that bought it is enjoying it just as much as I did. But maybe eventually I will buy another Neon. But I got 2 vehicles right now, so that's more than plenty for a single person. But I'd have to say the van is my vehicle I use the most in my go-to vehicle. The other vehicle is a Nissan product. It's an Infiniti I30 from 2000. I bought that 5 years ago. And I wanted something flashy and something. It's either between that or a Jaguar S-Type with like the 3.2 or the 4-liter V8. But it'd probably be around the same age. But we'll give you a quick pointer on older luxury cars. With the Infinitis, you're going to tend to have a lot of swirl valves issues, a lot of computer problems, a lot of check engine lights that come on, a lot of odd error codes that you have no clue what to do and how to fix it. You're going to have a lot of sensors that are going out, a lot of computers malfunctioning. And that's for a 20-year-old car going on 21 years of age. But imagine all the new Mercedes-Benz nowadays and all the Lexuses and the BMWs and Maseratis and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Porsches and Range Rovers and all the new Jaguars in the Genesis, which is a Korean product, in some of the European brands like Audi and Volkswagen, and even Kia makes a few, or had a few luxury cars on their line. But even the Jeeps. There's a guy I know that bought a Jeep probably about 3 years ago, and he's got so many sensors on the darn thing, and so many computers going off all the time. Mechanically, the car is perfect. But bottom line is, what is that? I'm going to see what's going on outside. Oh, that is just a utility worker working on a power pole, or changing the transformer or something on the other side of the street. Nothing too exciting going on out there, but oh yeah, that's right. I was talking about cars and that right now. So in all honest reality, for a service vehicle, I think the most user-friendly vehicle, instead of going to an SUV, I think a minivan would probably be your best bet. It's depending on what y'all do. If you're a small middleman like me, I think a Dodge Caravan would probably be more than adequate enough. You don't have to tow a big trailer around, and you only need to tow like 2,000 pounds maximum, or 2,600 pounds. Okay, just basically counting 2,000 pounds. Then you could get away with a 3.3 liter V6 minivan. And if you're going to be towing like 3,000 pounds, then you'd probably want the Dodge Grand Caravan, because you get the 3.6 and the newer ones anyway. Some of the older ones were like 3.8, some were 3.3. Depends on what years. I'm not a Chrysler expert here, so I can't really answer that specifically. All you gotta do is get yourself a Google Nest like this. Oh yeah, I'll bring this thing up a little bit later. Hey Google, what year does the Dodge Grand Caravans have a 3.8 liter V6?
Here is some information from the web that might possibly help. 2008. On the website cars.usnews.com, they say, 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan Performance, U.S. News and World Report.
That wasn't the answer I was exactly looking for, but I guess these things are kind of dumb when it comes to answering questions. So I did a unboxing of this the other day on the live stream, and after, we'll get to this in a minute. So basically, and even the vans, now if you're thinking like the ProMaster city van, if you don't ever plan on towing any trailers with it, and you don't plan on hauling anything heavy around and just using it as a general service van for hauling lighter equipment around, yeah, you could get by with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. But in all honest reality, for the amount of money that those things cost, I think you would be better off with the Grand Caravan. Even though that those ProMaster city vans are set up really nice and they're really sleek looking and very basic, but yet you get a lot of options and a lot of different accessories for the back. But For all the money that you would spend on a vehicle like that, with a Grand Caravan, you can go down to your local home center, like Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards. If you have a Fleet Farm, or if you have a Blaine's Farm and Fleet, or if you have a Runners, or Runnings, or a Rural King, or you can go to Goofy Wonky Wally World and look for plastic shelving, or Target, or Costco, Sam's Club, and you get yourself some shelving. You can shelve both sides of the van in the back, and then if you don't want to get too fancy with anchoring them down, what you could do, this is not the most ideal, and more than likely, if you don't ever plan on using the sliding doors ever again, you could attach it around the handle of the sliding door and anchor the shelving too, using like a bungee, like a rope or something. Or you could always bolt it to the floor as an option. But then when you put your tubs on there, instead of having fancy bins, you just buy cheap tubs. Wait until like some at Fleet Farm are on sale, or Menards or Lowe's. You probably want clear tubs so you can see what you have in them. And then if they're really get cheap and creative, instead of spending a lot of money on clips and stuff, what you could do is use bungee cords to hold your items on the shelves when you're flying around corners and stuff, that you don't lose your load or flying. And as far as decals on your vehicle, if you know the right people and you can catch a sale at like a custom sign shop, all you need is magnetic stickers to stick on your door panels, and that'll work just fine for doing your decals. You don't need to get your whole vehicle painted, because chances are, if you ever go out of business, you want to get all that stuff off of your vehicle. With the stickers, you can just put them in your closet for safekeeping and as a nostalgic item. But I don't even know why you'd want to keep them after they're done with the business. But in case you ever should fold, you can still use the minivan for other things. Start a family and be prepared to have a van. Because the problem with an SUV is a lot of them are only 4-cylinder, and a lot of them, either they're cramped and tight on the inside, they're hard to get in and out of, or the cargo space in the back is not adequate enough for hauling anything large or decent. Or sometimes the gas tank is right underneath the cargo area, so you can't put anything heavy in there. And you can't tow trailers with some of them flimsy vehicles. And a lot of the problem is the more complicated you get with some of those vehicles, like with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, you got more to go wrong with them than just a plain front-wheel drive vehicle or rear-wheel drive. Now, the only vehicles that I would buy in a four-wheel drive would be a pickup truck. But then again, I wouldn't buy a brand new truck to begin with. I'd buy an old beater truck. And the reason is, sometimes I wouldn't spend more than $6,000 for a truck. And that's not going to get you a lot of truck for that money. But actually, most I probably want to spend on one is like $2,500. For a diesel, you're probably, at least for an older one anyway, you're from like the 80s or 90s, you're probably looking at least 6,000 minimum. So a lot of those diesel trucks, you can run for 300,000-400,000 miles. Even though they got 218 on the clock, they still got half of their life left in it yet. So I hope that answered one of my viewers' questions. Now we can get on to the Google Nest Mini. After using it for a few days, these Google Nests are not as intelligent as you'd like to think. You ask it a lot of questions, a lot of normal stuff it can do, a lot of intricate question asking. It's kind of a blockhead. And even if you wanted to sit and verbally abuse these things, they take what you're saying as a compliment. It's like, hey, Google, you're dumb.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
Everything about you.
Thanks for that. Every piece of feedback helps me learn.
Hey, Google, laugh.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Hey, Google, what time is it in Norway?
The time in Norway is 11:26 p.m.
So some stuff like asking what time it is, it's okay for that. Or if you know certain very basic information, a lot of intricate stuff, you ask it, it doesn't really know, and it gets kind of confused. But we can't really demonstrate music on this thing because YouTube would just have a real temper tantrum if we did that. And we don't want to tick anybody off of YouTube because they're all childlike there and they don't understand that to demonstrate products and stuff that sometimes you got to use audio and video related content. And the problem is some of the open source music out there, you can't really test the dynamics of products like these. A lot of them, it's all like MIDI files, or it's just quick, flat style instrumentals. And the only instrumental song I know that would demonstrate a product like this perfectly is a song by Mannheim Steamroller, Toccata, because it has a lot of highs and lows. That was a song that was developed for the auto show in New York in the 80s. And there's no singing, there's no words to it. It's just a nice instrumental. So for testing products, and especially speakers and stuff, that is an ideal. So in all honest reality, so basically I just plugged it into extension cord. And would I recommend buying one of these? So what's really cool is, so I can say, Google, turn the lights off. Oh, that's right. You gotta say, hey, Google, turn the lights off. And I just turned some of the lights off in here because I have a Philip Hughes system. Hey, Google, turn the lights back on. And you can turn the lights on and off. Now, if you have a fancier Philip Hughes system or fancier light system where you can change different colors and make them flash and drive you crazy, more power to you. You can also use this to make phone calls. Google, or hey Google, call my phone.
Okay, your SMS 327VL should be ringing now.
Phone's probably dead. Okay, maybe I should reboot my phone. Hey Google, be quiet. So you can use different commands with it. But as far as if you want to get smucky and smart with this thing, it doesn't understand your sarcasm. So out of a 5, I would probably give this thing a 3. It's kind of sleek looking, kind of small and compact, and the sound isn't that bad. I can't demonstrate it on here because YouTube would have a temper tantrum and they would have a hissy fit and stomp up and down, and they get all puffy and puffy and terminate me. So I can't really honestly show a really decent demonstration of how good the speaker actually sounds. If it wasn't for the fact that the speaker sounded good, I'd give this thing like a 1.5 out of 5 rating. And the reason I only give it a 3 is some of the other features is when it comes to intricate questions and stuff, sometimes it doesn't give you the same answer twice. Sometimes it comes up with a slightly different answer. It's like, for instance, hey Google, how did the Catholic Church start?
On the website courses.lumenlearning.com, they say, the history of the Catholic Church begins with the teachings of Jesus Christ, who lived in the 1st century CE in the province of Judea of the Roman Empire.
And the reason I use that as an example is the other day it gave me a totally different explanation, even longer than. So I understand products aren't perfect either, but in my opinion, it's only worth probably about $29. Yeah, the call came a little too late. Hey Google, call my phone again.
Alright, your SMS 327VL should be ringing now.
The thing is, the problem is when you answer it's kind of all laggy and all choppy, but I think my internet has a lot to do with, and my wireless system here has a lot to do with why that aspect of it doesn't work so well. But basically, a lot of stuff box. So this thing will give you directions. Hey Google, give me the nearest directions to Walmart.
I found a few Walmart locations near you. The first one is Walmart Supercenter at 4115 Calumet Avenue, Manitowoc. The second one is Walmart Supercenter at 810 South, Irish Road, Chilton. The third one is Walmart Supercenter at 2292 Main Street, Green Bay.
So as far as directions, it'll give you directions. Hey Google, where's the nearest Sears?
Sears is on 43 Town Way C in Madison and is 100 miles away.
So that's the only Sears left in Wisconsin. And we can't demonstrate music on here, so. Hey Google, call St. Michael's, the Archangel Parish.
Just a reminder, emergency calls aren't available from your Google Home. When you're done, tell me to hang up. Now, let's get started. Calling St. Michael's Parish.
Cancel. I don't actually want to call it because this thing is 9 times out of 10 is not going to call the right number. So we don't want to call somebody inadvertently. So as far as the Google Assistant goes, Google, dim the lights. Hey Google, dim the lights. So you can actually dim lights with it. Google, hey Google, turn the lights up. So in a way it's kind of useful, but yet these things do leak privacy, private information. They do inadvertently record what you're talking about, and if you catch Google in a lie, and you confront this device by saying, "Hey Google, are you lying to me?"
My job is to get you information, and I would feel really bad if I lied. I'd never do it on purpose.
Hey Google, why are you lying to me?
I always try to tell the truth. I take honesty seriously.
So sometimes the answers that you get out of this box aren't always the most accurate. So if you're not using it, just pull the power to it. Because once you have it set up and you want to use it, all you do is just plug it back into the wall and it'll work just fine. So I think that's enough for this stream because I have a video conference call in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to get ready for that. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. So this is my updated part of the video is the updated status of what I think of this thing. Like I said, 29 bucks. It's not bad. Something to mess around with, but I wouldn't advise paying 100 bucks for this for the system. This is only a second generation Google Nest. Maybe the newer ones are better. I bought it because it was on sale. One of my favorite stores. So I hope that answered everybody's questions. And sorry if I didn't get to all the questions, but we can always make a stream on a later time because I was supposed to get some other work done before I did this, but I thought it'd be just as or more important to get this out of the way. Well, not really get it out of the way, but just kind of do it, and that way it's just not later and you're not tired. And so, God bless everybody. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you very soon.